She could have let him in the house yesterday, too. Opened one of the lower windows, for instance, and fastened it later. Of course it's horrible, but it's all horrible anyhow. And you think Mrs. Dalton suspects that, George? How do I know? What was she looking for last night? What might be in the woodshed? The duplicate key maybe. Or perhaps we're just crazy, and the money's still there. And we fall back on a lunatic, I said, trying to smile. What is there to do, George? I'll go crazy sitting here. Well, the police are opening the chest this morning, according to Lizzie. Apparently they tried it last night with an ice pick and failed. Which shows, I think, not only the high efficiency of our grapevine telegraph, but the fact that all along we underrated the intelligence of our servants. If the money's gone, I wish you'd take a look around no man's land. I have to work, or I'd do it. He picked up a pencil and began to draw a crude sketch on the tablecloth. We still use tablecloths. The Crescent regards doilies as an attempt to evade laundering the heavy damask cloths we affect. Here's the Crescent, he said. And here's where I found the gold piece. If I were you, I'd go in by way of Euclid Street, and examine that woodland. You see, the chances are that if the money is gone it's been buried, and if it's been buried it may be buried there. He looked at his watch and got up. Better rub that out, he said as he rose. God knows the servants have enough to talk about already. If you can get into the Lancasters and learn what the police discover, I wish you'd call me up. I agreed, and I went with him to the door. I wonder if anyone has told Helen Wellington about Jim, I said. If she knows he is in trouble, she'll like it. Still, there should be someone there. Even the servants have gone, George. He's all alone. If you're asking me, he's better alone than with Helen any time. He patted me on the arm. He's able to take care of himself, Lou. He won't mind a little dust in the house and he can get food, of course. We'll begin to worry about him if that money's missing, not before. And if it is? Then, as sure as God made little fishes, they'll arrest him. When I went back to the dining room, Annie was gazing with interest and disapproval at his drawing. It's a pity he couldn't use a piece of paper, Miss Louisa. I'll rub it out in the lavatory, I said hastily, and you will only have to press it. She took away the dishes and I was gathering up the cloth when she came back and said, "Old Mr. Lancaster has taken to his bed, miss. He had only a cup of black coffee this morning. And Ellen is threatening to leave. She doesn't like the way the police went through her clothes yesterday. I remember standing there, the tablecloth in my arms, and feeling that she wanted me to ask her something, that her return had been solely for that purpose. But her face was carefully blank. "Listen, Annie," I said at last, "if you know anything, anything whatever that the police ought to know, you should tell it." I realized at once that I had made a mistake. At the word police she stiffened. "I don't know anything, miss." "Not the police, then. Is there anything you can tell me? Anything out of the ordinary? Someone has committed a terrible crime, Annie. Do you want them to get away with it?"